girls today.
Hello.
Good evening and welcome to Success in the City. My name's Helen Webster. I'm with the lovely
Sandra Scott, and we don't have a guest today because it's just us and we've got loads to talk about, which is dead exciting.
Which it is. So, we haven't been able to get a guest for this week because we'd made a mistake and we thought we'd book them, but we've booked them for next week, so that's okay.
Yes.
So we thought we would jump on and just do a little chat with myself and Sandra to catch up on everything that's been going on.
Indeed, because there's been loads and loads and loads going on, and we're absolutely chocker.
Yeah, but we are going to stick to the show. So I'm on a different computer. I've logged into Phil's computer to see whether it'll stop the. Oh yeah, there you go. To see if it'll stop the buffery thing that it normally does. Because I thought it might be. So we are going to stick to the format. We're going to do a shout out to any little people who've done amazing things this week.
Well, I know you're going to give a shout out to.
Yeah, I am.
Go on.
Okay, so I'm going to go first. Then I'm going to give a shout out to James and Hannah Walker for being amazing. So I was lucky enough to look after them on. So I slept on Thursday night because they were leaving early on Friday morning. So I had to get them up for school on Friday, then pick them up from school on Friday night, and then I had them overnight on Friday, and then Rachel and Charles came back on Saturday. So I stayed in their house because that's much easier. But I think that'll be part of me tale of everything that happened to me on that day, that weekend, which was a bit mad. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to a few people, actually, some wonderful young humans who are doing all kinds of cool stuff, who we teach, and people who are just coming on at the moment, and people who maybe haven't been to school for a while and they're getting back into school and stuff, and people who are struggling. There's a lot of young people out there and we talk about them a lot. But also, I wanted to give a shout out to our mate Jo Swinney, granddaughter Keris, who's 14, who looks amazing, all grown up and everything, doesn't she? Very much.
Happy birthday. It was a birthday yesterday, so big happy birthday to her.
On the picture, yeah. So happy birthday to her, Keris.
Yeah. So I want to give a shout out as well. So on Friday it was Pudsey Bear Day, Children in Need. And so lots of children got dressed up. They wore their pajamas for school. Yeah. So massive shout out for them all just for getting involved. So I was trying to explain to James and Hannah that some children don't have pajamas and some children, don't have nice houses and things. And so all of the money that's collected then helps the other children buy things. And they were just like this, what? Because they're 5 and 3. But they were good. They understood it.
You know what I'd have said to James and Hannah? Some children's mummies don't decorate the house for Halloween because their house is a work of art, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
The pictures on, they look amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to all of them for doing Pudsey Bear Day, which they call it. So Children in Need. Yeah, perfect, brilliant. Okay, success this week.
Loads.
Should we talk about that as we're going through our week?
Yeah, okay then. That's a good idea.
Because we've got quite a bit going on, haven't we?
Yeah, we have got loads.
We're going to play this or that.
Oh, go on then. You can start. See how this is going to go then.
So we're sponsored by Corporate Connections. Corporate Connections have got some really exciting news.
Well, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, so very exciting news. And hopefully, I was thinking before, we might ask Bri to come on because it's a massive he's been on before, people know Bri, but he hasn't been on as Corporate Connections, and it's massive for our city. I really think it's massive for our city what's happening,
well, are we could go do this or that, because I want to say about that as well.
Well, you can talk about it now and I'll throw the this or that in.
Yeah. Okay, so what it is, for people who don't know, Corporate Connections, who very kindly sponsored us for a few months now, Corporate Connections is a networking organisation. There's lots of networking things people hear about. If people who aren't in business mightn't be aware, but a lot of businesses done through people just meeting people who are in business, and we all help and support each other. And I think our city, our regional area is massive for that. And we are punching, we really are in our area, you know. We do things, we really do make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, to coin a phrase at a time, you know, when everyone helps. And certainly in business, I know personally I wouldn't have had a business if it wasn't for my networking group, because I started part-time, built that up. And you and I, that's how we know each other as well.
It is, that's how we know.
Yeah, which is amazing. And I've made some really good friends there over the years. Corporate Connections is on another level, though. It's very, very different. So we have one in London, or two in London, possibly starting soon. We've got them in Birmingham and Bristol and Liverpool. So they're not all launched yet, but the first group in Liverpool is launching. So it has launched, and we've got the big launch event tomorrow evening at the Art School restaurant. We've had Paul Askew on before as well. He's amazing.
He hasn't been on yet.
He has been on, I'm sure. I think he has, yes.
No, not yet. He was going to come on, and it was Eurovision. So he said he'd come on after Eurovision. So we still need him on.
In my mind, he's been on. He obviously hasn't. That's hilarious. Poor man. Anyway, so we're going to the restaurant where he'll tell us all about it. If he's been on, I'll laugh my head off, by the way.
Really, honest to God.
You're the one who keeps the records of all of these. So anyway, we got this big launch tomorrow night. But the Global Director of Corporate Connections, which is a massive organisation in Canada, the US, everything, he's coming to Liverpool, and he's going to be present. And the Director of Europe's coming, and the Director of Holland, I think, as well, or the Netherlands. So we've got 3 international visitors there tomorrow. People are coming up from Bristol, etc., London possibly, and then a lot of people locally who are members of this group, which is, you know, some very successful business people, shall we say, in the city. But everyone in the room, because I help Brian a bit with this, so everyone in the room always talks about what they want to bring back to the area. And some people, there's one chap, he's made his money externally from the city, and he goes, I want to plow it back in, you know, because these people are individuals, they've gone from strength to strength to strength, set up the businesses over the years, and they employ a lot of people. They keep a lot of people in work, and all ethical as well, which I like. You know, I'm all about everyone having a fair wage, being paid properly. So they're all ethical, successful businesses. They've got quite high turnovers to be members of the group, and that they're all lovely, just lovely, very normal, down to earth people who anyone can talk to. So I'm really looking forward to this. And Brian set this up, and it's taken about 18 months probably to get off the ground. And despite it being an international organisation, it's been a lot of effort, and he's sort of ploughed along on his own a lot. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy for him that it's worked. He's such a great guy, and that it's launching tomorrow. And I tell you what we did have from that group. We had Jimmy on from the charity, because the charity is Northwest Cancer Research.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he came on and he spoke. So he's really cool. So I'm delighted about that. So that's tomorrow evening. So obviously I've got my hair booked in tomorrow.
Brilliant. So yeah, so really excited for him, really. So I'm gonna ask you the first this or that.
Okay. Oh, go on then.
So would you rather have a dessert or a cheese board?
Well, okay, a dessert or a cheese board. So possibly a dessert now.
Yeah.
Overall, if it was one or the other forever, it's the dessert.
100%. I don't get a cheese board in a restaurant.
Oh no, I know. Well, you say that, but when they had the 10-year anniversary, there was a cheese board like no other in that restaurant. And I can't tell you, the food, you just never tasted food like it. It was just unbelievable.
I know, but I think that you've had your food, haven't you? So you've had all your food. I want cheese and biscuits straight away after. That's like a much hours later thing, because I think you should be full on your food. So I've never got it. I've never got cheese boards in restaurants. You know, when people say, for your dessert, do you want a cheese board? I think no.
I'm wondering if there's a cheese board tomorrow now. I don't know, because you're coming for dinner. It might just be a dessert. I don't know.
As a dessert, I well looked.
Is that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is. I don't know what the menu. I have had a look, but I can't remember.
The menu's phenomenal, and I'm dead excited about it.
The food's gorgeous. So I'm really delighted. I wanted to go there for a long time, so I'm really happy.
I've not been, so it's an exciting thing, isn't it? Okay, good. So if anybody wants to throw a little this or that into the comments, they can, and we'll.
Oh yeah! Oh God! What could happen? Anything?
Anything could happen. So if somebody else wants to throw a little this or that in, then feel free to throw one in. Go on, Sam.
Okay, so would you rather have a hot starter or a cold starter?
Oh, good shout. Probably a hot starter.
A hot starter. Yeah, it depends what time of year it is for me.
Yeah, I think probably I'm thinking of the winter now because it's cold, isn't it?
Do you like gazpacho?
I've never had it because the thought of cold soup just makes me think no.
Everyone says it's cold soup. It's not cold soup, it's gazpacho. It's just you serve it in a bowl and it's liquid, so people think it's cold soup.
And it's tomatoey, isn't it?
It's very, very tomato.
I don't do tomatoes.
Garlicky. Oh, it's gorgeous. Have you ever had V8, the drink?
No. Oh, it's tomatoes.
It's veg, but there is a lot of tomato. Oh, it's gorgeous. I love gazpacho.
Yeah. I read, what did I read? And it said it's like gazpacho. And it was a national dish somewhere.
Spain.
No, it wasn't gazpacho. It was something like it, and it said, "Oh, it's like this," and it was the national dish.
Oh, okay.
I can't think. It might come back to me. Anyway, yeah. What would you rather have, hot or cold starter?
As I say, it depends on the time of year. In the summer, maybe something cold and light. I like things like that. But in the winter, I like hot food. Always.
Yeah.
Always. So.
Cool. Okay. Christmas pudding or mince pie?
So, at the meal itself, pudding, because I love Christmas pudding, but it's very rich. Yeah, I really enjoy Christmas pudding, but because they do gorgeous gluten-free ones now, really, M&S do them, even Aldi, loads do, Tesco's do gluten-free pudding. They're really nice. The M&S one's gorgeous. My mum always brings the pudding. So I love Christmas pudding, but obviously I love mince pies. So if it's one or the other, Mike's, but they don't have Dairy Lee on a chessboard, a cheese board, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I like Dairy Lee I like Dairy Lee. I don't like smelly cheese. Don't like blue cheese.
I love all the cheeses like that. Okay. Yeah. When I was 16, I worked in France as an au pair, and they used to send me to the dairy every Friday with a giant dog. And I'd go and buy all the cheese for the week. Because there's no nonsense in France. You buy a whole cheese and they just slice it every single day. Lunch and dinner. The cheese is out after the meal. And they all eat cheese with it, and it's lovely. So, I really enjoy that. And I'd never had blue cheese in my life till I went to work in France. And I love all of that. Any cheese like that, I love.
Well done.
Whatever.
Okay. So what about your Christmas pudding or mince pie? You've got to choose.
Well, choose one forever.
For the rest of your life.
I'd choose mince pies.
Would you?
Yeah. What would you choose?
Well, I don't like Christmas pudding. I'm not a lover of mince pies either.
God, you're quite fussy, really. As a huge.
Oh, I'm dead good now. I was shocking. I was like really fussy. I'm like really good now. I try loads. But I'd probably have a mince pie because I love pastry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Mincy.
I'm thinking Costco's mince pies are lovely because they've got like a spongy thing on the top.
Well, I used to love them, but I don't eat them. I had a Costa mince pie. My mum makes mince pies that are dead nice for us. Yeah. Your mum makes mince pies, doesn't she?
Yeah, and she makes Christmas no, she makes a Christmas cake. I don't like fruit cake.
Nah. There we go. If you have custard on, it's really nice.
I mean, I'd eat it. I'd eat it. I wouldn't choose it, but I'd eat it if it was there.
Okay, right, go on then.
Go.
Okay, so would you rather have a roast ham or a roast turkey?
Turkey, hands down.
Me too, turkey hands down. Some people, my uncle came and he was like, and just like carved into the ham he was made. So I do a turkey and a ham.
Yeah, I'm not a lover of ham.
Or goose, ideally, but because people are disappointed.
You're the only person in the whole of Liverpool who has goose.
Right, 100%. That's not true because they've already got loads of frozen ones in Aldi,
and they'll stay
there. No, they sold out. Last year they sold out. We had to have turkey. I was fuming with myself for not buying it sooner.
I think they sold out. They went out of date and then they gave them away.
Oh! The dead deer. I love them. We're getting a turkey this year because I've got quite a few people coming. So a goose.
What's the difference in? I've never had goose. What's the difference in taste between turkey and goose?
So do you like duck at all?
So my friend had a duck when we were growing up. Right? So, and her name was Dorothy the duck. Dotty. And so I ate duck for the first time when I might have been 27. And I had duck and pancakes, and I didn't know it was duck. They tricked me because I thought if I'd eaten duck, I'd beaten Dotty. So I'm not a massive. I wouldn't order like a piece, like a duck breast or anything like that. I wouldn't order anything like that.
Duck, I love it. Well, my friend Suzanne Jones, her sister-in had a duck. We always used to get crispy duck pancakes after the pub on a Sunday night at the Chunker at the Five Ways, and then go back to hers, right, every week without fail. And then
in front of the duck?
No, obviously the duck was in the garden, but when the sister was there, we could never ever eat duck. She'd go, God, here's all in, quick hide. And she'd go, have you got pancakes? And then she'd walk out in an arc. Because we had crispy duck pancakes. Your mum's commented here, Victoria sponge or chocolate cake? Because you go on about your mum's Victoria sponge.
It's not my mum's Victoria sponge.
Don't listen, Bob.
It's Port Sunlight Village in the garden centre. It used to make the most. The cafe's gone now, which is dead sad. But it used to make the most amazing Victoria sponge. So when we went over to see Auntie Bella and Uncle Ron, we used to have, and it was like a nana cake, it was massive. My mum was dead good at cooking. My mum can cook.
Makes the nicest cakes.
Yeah, sponge cakes are good, but Victoria sponge or chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake.
If I had to have one for the rest of my life, I'd probably have Victoria sponge.
Oh, really? I'd have chocolate. If it was one or the other, it's chocolate cake.
But chocolate cake's got to be like warmed, like a chocolate fudge cake, like warmed with like cream on.
No, my mum makes lovely chocolate cake. Definitely. Yeah. Brilliant.
Chocolate cake, no. Okay. If anybody's listening, what would they prefer? Victoria sponge or chocolate cake? Okay.
I like Victoria sponge where you get like a flan on top with all fruit in, like strawberries and raspberries and stuff like that. No, because it's fruit.
It's just a waste of space, isn't it?
Right, okay.
It's like when people have fruit and nuts, I think that's just taking the place of where that chocolate could be.
Well, do you know what I do? Right, this is dead bad. Is say I'm getting a bar of chocolate. I think, I'll have the fruit and nut because it's better.
No one else likes it.
No, I just think it's got fruit and nuts in it. It's better than just having a bar of chocolate.
Yeah, I remember craving fruit and whole nuts, eating loads of whole nuts, and I spoke to my friend who's a dietitian. I was like, I just can't get enough whole nuts, and she went, oh yes, she went, you're lacking in magnesium. That's why you're eating like all the chocolate and the whole nuts. It's okay. I think I just love the taste of it. I enjoy it. Yeah, if you crave chocolate and you eat loads of chocolate, you're lacking in magnesium. That is that's a true thing. That's not a joke.
I'm sure.
Yeah, no, it is honestly. Okay. My last one. Would you rather? See, I normally write these down. I'm not very good off the top of my head like you are.
Really?
Yeah, I write them down. I think about it. I'm like,
All right, well, hang on a minute. Is that a ukulele on the wall behind you?
Yeah, I can't play it though.
Amazing. Sorry.
Yeah, a little uke.
Random.
Would you rather go on a date with Bruce Wayne Batman or Tony Iron Man? What's his name? Tony.
Who was the choice?
So the fella who plays Batman, Bruce Wayne, or Tony Stark, who's Iron Man.
Oh my God, fathers! A date for the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do they have the mask on?
I don't know. No, Bruce Wayne or Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
Would you?
Yeah. Because he'd put you in a jet and take you somewhere cool for dinner. Yeah. Minted, fine, great, nice meal.
Yeah.
I know that's shallow, but these are two fictional characters.
It's only for one night. It's all right.
Only for dinner.
Yeah.
What about you?
Tony Stark. Iron Man's like well cooler than Batman.
100%. It's the little ear with the weird little ear things and the mask. I think you're a weirdo. No.
I know, look. This is what inspired me question.
Mother of God. Okay. Yeah, no, I'll swear. That looks like child Batman, which is well dodgy. Anyway, carry
on. Go on, you'll go.
We've got another one. One more. Okay, then. All right. Would you rather wear a comfy, like, tracksuit or a glittery dress to go out in?
Oh, it depends where I'm going. I don't really fancy a glittery dress to the match.
No, that would be hilarious. Okay.
If I'm going out.
No, just generally, and if you woke up and thought, would I rather wear this or this today? Would you rather get dressed up and wear a glittery dress or just be chilled and have a tracksuit on or something?
Probably chilled in a tracksuit, but I do love having a good night out where I do get dressed. And I think because I don't sort of wear things like that all of the time. So I think that's why I enjoy like getting dressed up and going out. You know, I don't so I feel like nice. You know, when you go out and you put like your nice clothes on. I think it's like a treat type thing. Yeah.
I really like to wear something dead comfy and snuggly if I can, like jogging bottoms and stuff like that. Rachel's put chocolate cake and custard.
Yes, very nice. Hot, of course. Yeah, perfect.
Right.
Okay. So this or that's done. Okay, we're going to do success of the week, but we're just going to talk about what's going on at the moment because you've been super busy and lots of things have been happening, haven't they? So I want to talk about your Blue Badge course.
Oh my God, I've got far too much going on at the moment. So the Blue Badge course is, I think so people have known because I've missed a few and things like that. So the Blue Badge course is the course to be a recognized, if you like, tour guide. So there's White Badge, which means you can tour
the venue, isn't it? The White Badge. What's her face? The week you couldn't make it, Kate Martinez from the Palm House, and they're going to be the first White Badge building in Liverpool.
Exactly. Well, yeah, where they've all got it, because there are tour guides for the cathedrals, but everyone in that building's done that course. And then a green badge is just the city, which is hard enough, you know. A blue badge is like the whole area, the whole region, really. So
is it like Merseyside?
Yeah, it is Merseyside. So there's absolutely loads. I think we've got to do Chester. It might even be the Northwest. I don't know. It's shocking. Anyway, there is that much work to it. Fran, who's been on our show before, she's got a master's in history, and she went, Sandra, this is like the master's. And every week I'm just horrified because I'm diabolical at dates anyway, as you know. And the only reason I've done it is they run every 10 years, or I wouldn't have done it now in a million years, but 10 years down the line will be quite a long way off. So I thought I'll have it ready for when I retire and stuff, because I've always wanted like guide foreign people around the city and stuff. So you think you know your own city. I think I know my city quite well. When you go on these tours, you're just like, oh, you just learn so much. It's incredible. But the course is really intensive. So it works out every other weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But sometimes the weekends in a row, then you'll have a couple of weeks off. So it's more or less every alternate weekend and every Wednesday evening. We get 4 weeks off over December, January, and then we carry on again. And then we stop the end of March after some exams. And then we have a project to do over the summer, because the tour guides, they can't teach the program in the summer because they're just chocker. And then we pick it up again and we qualify. It takes a year and a half, basically. It is full on. But and there's a lot of people on the course who are just gorgeous, and they're already tour guides. They're really nice people who already work in the city. Like, you'll have a music specialist. And remember we had Dale on ages ago. He was lovely. He was doing the electric cycle tours. Yeah. So there's a lot of people like that in the city who are really good. They know their stuff. They're fantastic. And they haven't been able to do the badge that they've wanted because this course hasn't run for 10 years. There've been 5 since the year before the Garden Festival. So I think that was 83 or 82 around then. So, you know, they did a couple and there were like 12. There's 30 people on this course, but people have come from Chester to do it. There's a lady from Manchester. Because of the cruise ships, it's quite a lucrative thing to do. And they wanted people with languages, which is the only reason I got in it, because I haven't even got a history GCSE and it's all historical stuff. But it is hard. There's a lot to learn, but it's enjoyable. And of course, to do it with Fran and
which is lovely.
But you have to have a speaking.
Yeah. Are there lots of other people who can speak other languages, or?
There's a lovely girl on it who's Italian. She's really lovely and her English is perfect. She's lived over here a long time and she's all about music, you see. So she'll focus on that as a specialist, really. And then there's some people have one language, but no, there aren't really. Not what you'd think there would be. Out of 30 people, there's a guy I was at uni with actually who did German and French, I think, or German and Spanish, I can't remember. So there are some people with a language, but not many.
No. What are you going to specialise in? Do you know?
In terms of language or topic?
No, like topic. You know, like some people like, you know, some people are going to go music. Some people will probably do sporty. Some people will, you know, are you just going to do a little mixture of everything?
I'm just going to sit on the coach talk and just get enthused about it. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And on my left, the Taj Mahal, that type of thing. But you get people and they want to know all kinds of stuff. So things that you don't think are relevant to Liverpool, and they want to know about the kings and queens in England. Well, I haven't got a clue. That's been horrendous. So I've literally got to learn them all, and they want to know, you know, dates aren't essential, but they expect you to know your stuff because you're meant to be a certain caliber to pass the thing. So I've just got to study loads. And of course, whilst this has all been going on, I've been dealing with all kinds, with the setting up a school and everything. Yeah. And the business, you know, so it's been a fun time, but at least I'm not bored.
Exactly. What else would you do in the time? You know what I mean?
I haven't got any time, so I might sleep a bit. I'm definitely due a holiday, definitely a little break.
Definitely. So do you want to talk about the school?
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I've kept it under wraps really, but I was outed by a video this week. So yeah, I've ended up supporting a friend, a guy who I taught Spanish to, etc. Who's I'm hoping to get on the show. He's a lovely person, and he was in care himself, and he set up children's homes later in life because his own circumstances that he went through were horrendous. So from that, he set up really, really decent children's homes that are gorgeous and everything. They do everything they can for the kids. And I've seen some of the letters the kids have written him and saying how lucky they were to be in the care homes. But they're amazing. They're just, and all the people who work for him are lovely and they're really passionate about looking after the young people. And he was sick, a lot of the kids getting excluded from school. So he said, right, I'm going to set up a school. So I originally he asked me to work for him and I said, no, you know, I'm too busy, blah, blah, blah. And then I applied to do the Blue Badge tour. And I helped him with a bit. He said, well, just do this. And I said, oh, I'll do it voluntarily. And he went, no, do so many hours. So I helped him with all the SEND stuff because that's my professional background and etc. And then I ended up, for a variety of reasons, having to help at the last minute when they were putting the application in for Ofsted, which has been a joy, to be the head teacher of the school. And then, of course, prior to this, I was accepted on the Blue Badge course, which cost an absolute fortune. So committed to pay for that. So I'm sort of juggling everything. And I'm really lucky because I've got Ronan, who helps me with the business massively. And he does all the invoicing for that. You know, there's a lot going on. So I'm not full time doing that role yet because we don't have any children. But you wouldn't believe what's involved in setting up a school prior to the children arrive. And it's incredulous. So dealing with the Department of Education on a daily basis, I had emails today. And then we've got a guy who helps us who's like an independent Ofsted person. So he gives us advice and stuff and he goes through everything. And then the Ofsted will come and do make sure we're bang on, you know, and everything. He did compliment us on the signage, which was nothing to do with me, you know, all the safety and things like that. So every day I've got something coming in. I've got Katie Elliott coming in, who's going to be coming on the show. She's done all our food safety for us. And etc. Hola, Julio Herrera Vidal, who I taught English 2 years ago, which appreciated commenting. Yeah, so it's really cool. So we're going to be doing Spanish there and sign language, which I'm absolutely delighted about as well. It's a beautiful school. It's just beautiful, and it's only set up for 32 children because because of the various needs and support they'll all require, those young people. So it's really lovely. And of course, it's the first school in the country to have interactive playground installed, Lou Interactive, which is great. And then we've also got VR. And I've been working with a student from John Moores today, Mick, who looks after all the IT, of putting things in the VR that are from the national curriculum, you see. So it's really, really exciting. So today we were looking at things and we were thinking how we can bring Shakespeare alive, you know, and so we were looking about, we can have the VR that they're actually in the Globe Theatre, or they're going in a Victorian street, or so when they're doing a Christmas carol, you know, so there's a lot of overlap with history and that. We were looking at science, and the students had already done this thing about the planets, which was absolutely incredible, you know. And I just thought every child would be engaged. You know, it just makes the lesson so much more modern and fun. Yeah. And as I always say, we're competing with Nintendo, aren't we? You know, when we're trying to educate children. And no money has been spared on the investment in this school, and the tech is incredible. It's amazing. So I'm really happy about that. And there's so many laptops and computers and everything. And we've got traditional books and libraries as well, and doing all sports and activities. We've got drama, dance, science. So if a child, because the school is such, if a child's really, say a child's gifted and is really interested in astronomy, I can get someone in so that child can do a GCSE astronomy. That's absolutely fine. If a child wants to do horticulture, whatever, I can make it work for them. As long as they've got the core subjects, English, maths and science, which are compulsory, we can really make the curriculum work. But there's a lot of movement and activity every day in school, a lot of sport and movement involved in each lesson, which, as you know, is my passion. So I am really excited about it, but the day just goes like that, you know. And of course, I've got my gorgeous clients as well. So I'm looking for more tutors to help me out, definitely, for my own business. I'm looking for English tutors in particular who can support young people and teach after school online mostly, you know. So we definitely need some more tutors at Chataway. And the number one criteria, as always, is you have to be a nice person. That's the number one rule to teach for us anyway. So cool. So we've still got more interviews. So it's exciting times, and it's keeping my on my toes.
It is indeed. So Rachel is listening. She says it's an amazing school and they're lucky to have you.
Well, they've been amazingly supportive, actually, and you know, getting the furniture and things, and we got the lockers, and just being able to say, hey, what, and them helping you, you know, when you deal with people and they know the stuff, it really, really helps and makes my life a lot easier. So they've been a godsend to me. They really have.
Yeah, so. Brilliant. Excellent. Really, really good. It's an amazing building, isn't it? You know, and you know, as you said, we're hopefully going to try and get Alex to come on the show.
Yeah, he's promised me he will do. Yeah,
I think it'd be lovely to actually we'll do a live from the school itself, and we'll do a little tour so people can see it, because I think I know there's been a lot on the news at the moment about there's lots and lots of children who haven't gone back to school and are still struggling with anxiety and lots of different things about going, so the need for a smaller, quieter space for these children to be able to go is so important, because they can achieve with the right support. We all don't we? They can achieve whatever they want as long as they get the right support and the right environment, isn't it?
And, I was talking today and I was explaining to the student what I want the kids, when your kids come home from school and you go, what have you done today? And they go, nothing. Yeah. And then it comes out over dinner usually, or whenever, if you do sit at the table, they will talk, or later on. But I want the kids to go home and have something to talk about. I don't want them to say nothing, or if they say nothing because it's habit, fine. But then later they say, guess what? Or they say what they learned, or this happened, that happened. That's what I want them to. I want the parents to think, will you shut up about school? Or the carers, that's what I want. Yeah. Because then I know the kids are happy and they're enjoying it. And these are children for whom it's not worked. Yeah. School has not worked so far. And it's about us building the relationship. And, sometimes people are so overwhelmed. And of course, these children are massively affected by what happened during COVID and the lockdown, and some of them didn't go to school for the best part of 2 years. So they've missed out on education, maybe they couldn't work well online, etc. So going back's been difficult. And the worst thing is you had children who they were at the end, say they were in year 5 or year 6, and then the whole transition to secondary was terrible. They had no closure, and the impact on them has been absolutely massive. Whether we understand it or not, it's still a factor. And that's that. And they need support, And they've got the right to an education in our country. And we're obliged to do the best for them that we absolutely can. So I am really excited about it. And we've got people saying, people want to come to the school and that, but we can't have anyone until the Ofsted have said we're okay. So we're waiting for Ofsted, and then hopefully that will all be good. It's very exciting.
Brilliant. And it's a pile of work, isn't it, for people who, been calling into the school to say hello and everything, and the amount of work that needs to be done. And I was there when the Ofsted inspector came round because of Lou, the interactive playground, of how it's going to be used and how it's going to be tied into the curriculum, and the questions that he was asking, about, how's this monitored, how does that match this, how does that, and I thought, I'm dealing with him for a millisecond of the time that he was, and he was a lovely guy.
Wasn't he? He was so nice. He was so helpful. Yeah, he's been brilliant.
He was good. He was helpful. He explained everything. He was sort of telling us the reasons why we need to know these things, and it was brilliant, but I just thought, God, I'm only doing like a little tiny millisecond of what, you're doing. So it's a massive, it's all the policies. Yeah, folders, isn't it, and all sorts of things,
Yeah, but and like you do everything, and then you look up. I looked up at the top of the ceiling at the stairs, and there was a little cover on one of the smoke things, and I was like, no. And he said you'd get an advisory for that. It wouldn't be a no, but just you think you've got everything, and then you see something spot on, But there we are. Yeah, so it's been an experience, but I think once you've gone through the process, you understand it. It's like anything the first time, it's challenging, but once you've done it, it's all right now. The paperwork's something to behold, it really is. Yeah. But there we go. So that's what I've been doing. Are you going to talk about what you're doing?
Amazing. So I think I said last week I'd gone back to Bootle, to the May Logan Centre, as a Living Well mentor. Which is amazing. Yeah, it's just an amazing environment. It's a lovely, just a lovely welcome. So it was really funny because it's a year exactly from when I started. So I did the 6-month maternity cover last year, and I should have started on the 1st of November, and then because of paperwork and bits and pieces, I started on the 1st of December. And exactly the same. So I should have started on the 1st of November this year. And again, because of paperwork. So I started again on Monday, but it was like I'd never been away. So all the reception are gorgeous. All the staff are lovely people. And the team who I work with are just lovely, really good people. But everything's to do with Sefton. So if you know, because we cover Sefton, so if you're based in Sefton, the support that's on offer that you can have is just, you know, it's all free. There's no charge to it. It's just it's an amazing facility, and I don't think enough people know about it. So I have asked Julie, who's the manager of the centre, to come and be a guest and explain, you know, what's happening.
Brilliant.
And so I think she will. I think she'll come on, you know, and talk about it, because it's such a good space, and there's lots of things. So they've got Alder Hey Basin in there, because they're going for people to get from Bootle to Alder Hey is quite tricky.
It's a long way. When you're going across the city like that, it can be challenging if you confined to public transport, certainly.
Yeah. And they've got so the women's has moved in there now, and they've got an antenatal, and they were saying that the percentage of, you know, like missed appointments from people in Sefton area was massive, because to go from Sefton area, and Sefton area is like Formby, Southport, everywhere, all the way to town, as you said, you know, if you're on public transport, it's a long way, you know, when you're having a baby, and so the percentage of appointments is like massive now. So, you know, because they attend the appointments, and they had a breast cancer screening van, which was outside, which is gone now. That was there for 6 months. So they do a lot of stuff in there. They've got a lovely little cafe, a little ball pool for the kids to play in, and it's £1 to go in, you know, for the.
So where is the May Logan Centre for people who don't know?
The May Logan Centre's on Knowsley Road, which is the corner. So people might know North Park in Bootle. So North Park is where the leisure centre is. There's an Aldi and the leisure centre. That's in North Park. And then at the other side, where the Knowsley Road. So you go down Hawthorne, and you go Lineker Lane, and it's crossed over. And there's a funeral directors. There's a big roundabout, and opposite is the ambulance station. Most people in Bootle Sefton know the May Logan Centre.
Yeah.
So my dad's from Bootle. He grew up in Bootle, and it's literally like a couple of roads away. Mm-hmm. And May Logan was a lady who she had the chip shop, and she worked, you know, and she was all about the community, and she used to look after everybody in the community. And so then they named the community sort of health centre after her, because she really fought for it. So it's quite a nice little story of how you know, how it got to be May Logan. So yeah, so I've gone back there. So on Monday, when I was there last time, I did this fabulous cookery program. So people come on the cookery program, and it's about health and well-being. How can you be happy and healthy and a better? And we did this lovely cookery course. So whoever the deliverer of the session is, so say me, I did it with Steve, me and Steve did it. So we cook whatever, and everybody cooks. So they all have their own station, and they all cook something. So say we made a vegetable curry, for instance.
Yeah.
And we did it as a vegetarian cookery course, because it was about introducing people to foods that they might not have ever had before, and also
like goose.
So it was things like chickpeas. You know, some people never had chickpeas. Some people had never had lentils. One lady who was in her 60s, which I was really shocked by, had never cooked with a leek.
Oh wow!
And I was like, and she was like, "How do I cut this?" And I was like, "How do you cut a leek?" And I thought but you've got to be like, "Oh, you know, you just do it like this."
Yeah.
And so then you think, well, you know, I would have thought, you know, from years ago they cooked, but they cook differently, and they might have, like, you know, chips, egg and beans, sort of those sort of teas. They're not, you know, they don't sort of expand. So we were trying to expand food that they'd never tried, ingredients and then we'd cook something and they'd all cook it, and then whatever we cooked, we would share our pot of food. So we would all sit round and eat what we'd just made. And they would take the stuff that they'd made. They would then, it's enough for 4 portions, and then they would take that home. So they took 4 portions of food home, but they ate what we'd all cooked together. And I'd never really thought about the importance of sitting and eating with people. And I think a lot of people who are, you know, there's a big massive thing, isn't it, about isolation at the moment. So imagine living at home all the time and never sharing food with somebody. And it could be, you know, oh, this tastes nice, or I don't like that. what have you done in your day? You know, we were talking about the importance, and I think the importance of meal times has really gone, you know, since sort of probably Neighbours and programs like that. You know, people sit and have the tea on the knee and eat in front of the telly. So I think the sort of sitting around the table and sharing food is a really, really, or what, you know, an important part of the day. And if you never have that opportunity, so we had a gentleman there he was 60, 62, 63, and he'd come in and he'd had a few struggles in his life, and he was really shy on the first week, and so I was helping him, you know, we were having a chat, and he had big sons, you know, who he looked after, who they looked after him, and he said, I used to do all the cooking. He said, and now they do the cooking for me. He said, and I wanted, you know, he wanted to go home and do the cooking for him, and that's what he was doing, and anyway, he couldn't read or write, so he could get by. So he could, he used to buy the newspaper and he could get by, but he couldn't read or write. And so we ended up getting a tutor, a teacher. It was a retired teacher who came back and did volunteer work with him, and he can read and write now.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's a big, big thing.
And that's from coming on a cookery course. So, you know, people think, oh, coming on this cookery course, but the impact for him on is just phenomenal. And I think his life has opened up to so many more opportunities now.
And imagine the frustration that your whole life not being able to read and write, and then you learn as an adult. It's massive, that, isn't it? Yeah. You know, it really is. That's wonderful. What a difference.
They have a community project every year. They have a community. So the community project is, or the community neighbourhood project is, everybody in Sefton. So they have all different partners, and then they say, right, okay, what are we going to concentrate on? And there's a certain amount of money, and they all share that money, but there's one focus. And the focus of last year's sort of project was adult literacy. So it was about getting adults reading and writing, and so there was lots of courses and little drop-ins, and it's done in a really cool way. There's adult books, and you know, it's not sitting down with like Advocate and things. You know,
it's got to be a grown-up topic. It's not fair for them to have children's books at all.
So and the uptake for it was massive, which is lovely. That, you know, I just think people. So I remember watching, you know, the fella from the repair shop, and he was dyslexic, Jay something his name is, isn't it? And he couldn't read, and there was a program on the telly, and he got through his life by saying, oh, I haven't got my glasses, can you read that for me? Or can you fill that in? I haven't got a pen. And they came out with all these strategies, and I'd watched that. So when I spoke to this guy on the first week of the cookery, and I said, oh, because you've got to fill a form. Oh, can you fill that in for me? And he goes, oh, yeah. And he goes, oh, I haven't got my glasses. I said, well, I'll fill it in for you. And I was filling it in, and I thought, hang on a minute, because we were talking about the recipe cards and things, and he was doing, oh, what else do I need? And I thought, oh, you're read, but you know, and we were just having a chat. I think it was week 3 or week 4, and I said, well, what would you really love to do? You know, because do you want to do music? Do you want to do this? And he goes, might sound really silly, Hell, he goes, but I'd really love to be able to read and write.
It's hard.
For them to open up is
it's very hard. And if you spent your life doing it as a covert way, the children who can't read properly, they always pick up the biggest book they can find on the bookshelf. And you know, because they won't know, and it's upside down. I've seen that before now, and they're pretending to read it. You know, it's sad, isn't it? Yeah. You know, it's that they learn that from an early age to mask it.
So we've got a 4-week cookery course, which was sold out within about an hour of it going on Facebook, which was good.
That's amazing. Well, but it sounded great because it's Christmas stuff, isn't it? Over 4 weeks.
So I just thought, what can I do in 4 weeks? I thought, I'll do a cookery course. So I said to them, I'll do a Christmas themed one, and they were like, so I'm going to do a starter, a main course, a dessert, and then I'm going to do drinks on week 4. So one of the guys who's coming on is a recovering alcoholic. And I thought, Christmas, it must be a tricky time, mustn't it? You know, just the two of you couldn't. George Clooney couldn't. No. I tried to get his stunt double, but you know, yeah. So my Uncle Ron's George Clooney stunt double, if anyone knows. But yeah, one of the guys is he's an ex-alcoholic. And Christmas must be a tricky time, I think, for people who are in recovery. So I thought if we did a mocktails type class. And lots of people drive, don't they? Some people are just fed up of having alcohol over the festive period.
A lot of people don't drink now.
Yeah, loads of people just don't drink.
Yeah, I shouldn't drink after Saturday night, believe me.
Yeah, lots of people don't drink because they just don't want to drink anymore, do they? They feel groggy the next day and everything. So it's just about doing different stuff, isn't it? So yeah, so I'm dead excited to be back there.
Oh, it's lovely. And I thought the Christmas cookery thing sounded amazing. Rachel said, I love these stories of the way people help others. And, we're surrounded by that. I put a poem on today, and it was from National Kindness Day or International Kindness Day, which we completely missed. And, but I shared the poem, and it says about most people. And, I always say the reason we set up this program was to keep everyone happy and lift everyone's spirits in lockdown. When Liverpool went under, we had to go under a lockdown a bit earlier than the rest of society, while Leicester at one point, because the rates were so high, because we're a sociable bunch, let's face it. So it was saying, this is a really good place to be. There are loads of kind, decent people who help people all the time. And the poem says most people, and it's true. And it's very, very bad time at the minute when you look at the news, and if it's not a war, it's people are living in horrendous circumstances at the moment in a lot of places and struggling financially. And of course, we always notice this more coming up to Christmas. But it was just to, be mindful there are the kindest people. I just think I know the kindest people in the world. I really do. We're so, so lucky where we live that there's such a culture of mutual support and help, and people just caring about the neighbours, caring about other people, sticking an oar in, about if a child's without, I'll help you out, just that type of thing. And we're dead lucky to come from somewhere like that, because it really isn't everywhere. Just remember, we are surrounded by gorgeous, kind people.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you massively. Okay, so you found out a little bit about what we're up to.
Yes, all kinds.
Yeah, we are going to have our guests. I think we'll book them up to Christmas now. We'll get back on it and be a little bit more organised and everything. But people have been busy, and that's life, isn't it? So shout out to any grown-ups who've done amazing things this week.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I want to give a massive, massive shout out to everybody who's just come back from the Sahara Trek. I don't know if are they back or
that was mine.
Sorry, are they back?
Yeah, they will be. They'll be back now. Yeah, I expect to see Claire Ellis in Spanish on Thursday morning.
So there was Claire Ellis, Leon McCowan,
and Leon's partner.
Who and Howard from the
came on the show from the Novotel.
Three of our previous guests.
Three of our guests have done the Sahara Trek for Nugent over the last week, and it's massive, and the heat and the distance covered. Yeah, look, I've hijacked it, really, haven't I?
No, that's cool. So they fundraised for Nugent, didn't they? Yeah, and what was nice was each one of them had their own. Whatever they raised went to their own particular part, because Nugent's a massive, massive organisation. And they look after dementia, they look after children, they look after lots of different things. And each person who went had their own, what meant something to them, so what their own, cause was. And I know that Claire Ellis, she was raising money for like a sensory garden for children with additional needs.
Oh, brilliant.
Her little pot was going towards that. I'm not sure what the others was going to, but I know that they've raised a lot of money, and what a cool thing to say that you've done.
I know, a big trek, and that's terrifying as well, though. But they did really, really well, and it was arduous and difficult by all accounts. People were putting photos of their feet on and stuff, and it did look quite shocking, so.
But I think there was about 25 of them, 30 of them, wasn't there?
Oh, I didn't know there was that many.
Yeah, I think there was 25, 30 of them who went out, all together. And I think if you go and do something like that, that team of people will stick together, because they've
very much so, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Well done, guys.
Any more grown-ups that you want to shout out to, Sam?
Yeah, so I was going to say to them, but also to Brian Quinn for making Liverpool I'm sure we've launched before London. I'm sure that's what he was saying. For Liverpool to be have corporate connections, so it's not in Manchester, Glasgow, anywhere like that. You know, we're dead lucky. So, and that's all down to him and the effort he's put in. So, massive congratulations.
And we wish him massive success tomorrow night on the launch. It'll be phenomenal. And we'll talk about it next week. And I'm sure you'll see some photos of it, because I'm sure we'll take a few little pics.
Oh,
because we're super excited. Redface.
Oh God, I had loads, and I was thinking I've got to write these down now because they're just getting ridiculous. There was that many. Not recognising several celebrities I was stood next to on Saturday night. That was humiliating as usual. And I wasn't as bad as some people who didn't have a clue who was there.
Not a bad thing, I don't think. I think that's a good thing, you know. It's worse when you start talking to them as if you know them.
No, you shouldn't do that. And Vernon Kay was dead funny, you know. He said, right, there's a lot of celebrities here tonight. He said, they love it. Go up to them, put them in a headlock, go like that. He was saying, you know, there's nothing better. Take selfies, as if to say, just back off, you know, because it must be unbearable. I understand people are highly salaried, all the rest of it, but to not be able to walk a yard without somebody accosting you must just be awful, you know.
It happens to me all the time.
People go, I know, you haven't got a clue. No, it was really funny. It was, and Vernon Kay had done all these marathons or something. He could barely walk.
He just done an ultra marathon, hadn't he, for children in need?
Yeah, something horrendous. Anyway, it was like he had calipers on, the poor guy. And then we had Jamie Carragher was brilliant as all, and he interviewed Wayne Rooney and Peter Crouch. That was good as well. And there were loads of famous people there and stuff like that. But I don't think anything embarrassed happened. I managed to stay on the shoes. That was good. I hadn't worn shoes before lockdown, so I was pleased about that. It was cool. I don't think I did anything untoward in the taxi or anything dodgy or that. So that was good. There we go. Brilliant. I didn't try and steal anything because I'd had loads to drink. That didn't happen. So you know, I've grown as a human. So that was that. Really. Probably do a Whopper this week. We'll see. Oh no, the cheese board. Get confidence.
No, not allowed. So I went for a run on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I had Wednesday afternoon off last week, and it was a gorgeous, like my favourite autumn day. It was like bright blue sky. The weather had been a bit shocking, but I bought a new pair of trail runners, so I thought I need to go and test them. So I did Little Woods in Croxteth Park. So I run with the dog, don't I? So off we go. And we haven't been out for a long time. We haven't been out for a run. So we went out and we ran, and I was coming back through the woods, and there must have been, I don't know whether it was a tree root or a stone or something, and I went flying.
Oh no.
But the worst thing was the dog's attached to me. You know, she's attached on it because so she's dead good if I'm walking, she'll just run around. As soon as I start running, she just jumps in front of me. So she goes on a lead, she goes around my waist, and then she just starts to run. She's great. And as I went to fall, she went like that and turned around and looked at me like I was frozen. And I was trying to fall, and I was thinking, move. And she was like, So I fell on the dog.
Oh, no.
So no. But then she like rolled like this. Then she was like,
She probably thought she'd been attacked, the poor animal.
So I was on the floor, right? And I was thinking, and she was going nuts, making all these mad noises. So I was taking off the lead. She was running around me like, what's going on? I thought, I'll just have to sit here for a little minute until I get me breath.
Yeah, of course.
So I was laughing to myself because her reaction was hilarious. So I just sat on the floor laughing my head off, and I was thinking, good job. It was a Wednesday afternoon. There was nobody about. So I had a cut on my hand, one on me other.
Covered in mud.
My knee is like proper playing out. You know when you graze it.
Yeah.
I thought, it's a bit sore. Anyway, it's black all around. So Yeah, so I've got to wear tights tomorrow night.
Got thick tights on for tomorrow night.
So I have to wear thick black tights now.
Oh, mate, that's shocking.
Yeah, I know, but
well,
that's all right.
I think you have had a red face moment, but no one saw you. The poor dog, though.
It was the dog's face. If I could have videoed her face, it was hilarious. She was like, oh.
All right. She's so cute.
Put a lanyard on her and I did feel dead mean.
Yeah. Oh, the poor dog.
So that's it. That's my red face. What are you reading? If you've got any time. Are you listening to anything?
Do you know what I mean? I'm reading policies, behavioural policies, policies for this, policies for that. Yeah, I'm not doing any reading. I'm supposed to be reading all stuff. Some of the books are so interesting, though. I will start mentioning the books that I'm doing on the course because anyone can get them. It's just about Liverpool and the surrounding area. And everywhere we go, we have to pick up a guidebook like the Anglican Cathedral, the Metropolitan Cathedral. You know, I went the other week, and Speak Hall and stuff. So I'm going to have I need another bookcase, of course. So I'm going to have all these tour guides and things about the city. What about yourself?
I've just started Never Split the Difference, and I know you've
read that negotiation skills. Yeah.
So I'm reading that. It's in so I've only just started it, but brilliant the way he writes it. Really, really.
Leon McCown, who's been on this, recommended to me, and Dominic Byrne.
And Dom, Dom Byrne, he recommends it all the time.
He recommended me loads of good books, Dom.
I bought it ages ago, and I'd left it to, and then I thought, oh, I forgot I bought that. So so I started reading that. So I'm quite excited to read that one. Do we have a closing quote?
Yeah, if you got one, because I'll do it if you want.
Oh, well, I was just going to say our mantra, but if you've got a nice little closing.
Which one? Which mantra? Go on.
So it's not our mantra. It's sort of like what we believe in, isn't it? It's ordinary people doing extraordinary things to inspire others.
Yeah, let's leave that.
Yeah. So it was lovely to have a catch up, and thank you to everybody for commenting in. And we will see you all next week with a guest.
With George Clooney, Uncle Ron. You watch.
Yeah, you wait.
All right then. Thanks a lot, and I will see you tomorrow. All right.
Kenny Mullins listening in. Big love, ladies. Big love to Kenny.
Kenny. We miss you, Kenny. Things ran smoothly, and we were well behaved when you did this. Rachel, I managed the whole one.
Yay, well done. All right, we'll speak to everybody very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Bye.